It's Thursday, May 30, 2024. I'm Anthony Davis. On the day that the disgraced former president Donald Trump has been found guilty of all 34 counts of falsifying business records in the criminal hush money scheme to influence the outcome of the 2016 general election. Well, the verdict came after a jury deliberated for less than 12 hours in the unprecedented first criminal trial against a U.S. president. It marks a perilous political moment for Donald Trump, the presumptive nominee for the Republican nomination, whose poll numbers have remained unchanged throughout the trial, but could, at any moment, tank. As we know, the U.S. electorate is not fond of a criminal, and that is what Donald Trump is now, a convicted felon. He was convicted by a jury of 12 New Yorkers of felony falsification of business records, which makes it a crime for a person to make or cause false entries in records with the intent to commit a second crime. In Trump's case, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office said that Trump falsely recorded the reimbursements he made to his former lawyer Michael Cohen, who paid the adult entertainment star Stormy Daniels $130,000 for her silence about her affair with Donald Trump as a legal expense. Ironically, Donald Trump, not understanding the magnitude of the crime, has admitted to the crime many, many times outside of the courtroom, talking about putting it down as a legal expense. The prosecution said the falsifications were made to conceal Trump's violation of New York state election law, which makes it a crime to promote the election of any person to office through unlawful means. Prosecutors argued, in part, that those unlawful means were the $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels, which was in effect an illegal campaign contribution, because it was done solely for the benefit of his 2016 campaign and exceeded the $2,700 individual contributions cap. Well, clearly, all of the jurors agreed with this, and in fact, much of the commentary has been about quite how much evidence there has been against Donald Trump. Trump throughout has maintained that this is election interference and that he is being persecuted, despite the fact that dozens of his former associates and hench people have also been arraigned and arrested and in many cases imprisoned for similar crimes. These are the people that Donald Trump surrounds himself with, and this is who Donald Trump is, a criminal who has spent his life avoiding tax and avoiding the law. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office called 20 witnesses who, over the course of the 4 weeks, gave evidence of how Trump plotted with the tabloid mogul David Pecker of the National Enquirer and Michael Cohen, his former fixer and personal attorney, to bury accounts of affairs with Stormy Daniels and the Playboy model Karen McDougal, whom he had almost a year-long affair with. The witnesses, some friendly to Trump, others openly hostile, said Trump's worry over the story with Stormy Daniels intensified after the October 2016 release of the infamous Access Hollywood tape, in which he was caught on a hot mic bragging about sexual assault. And indeed, the testimony that Stormy Daniels gave was one describing a sexual assault, although that was not her claim. But it is clear that Donald Trump, in so many areas of his life, is a sexual predator and somebody who cares nothing for women or indeed for the rule of law. So the question that I get asked the most is whether or not this now precludes Donald Trump from running for president. Well, no. There is nothing in the U.S. Constitution or federal law that prevents a felon from holding the nation's highest office. You might think that's strange. For me, as a European, living here, I find it remarkable. And while many federal employees would not be hired if they had a felony conviction on their record, the Constitution sets only a few bare-bones requirements for the chief executive. They say no person except a natural-born citizen should be eligible to the office of the president. And while today's voters worry about candidates who are maybe too old, the men who wrote the 1787 document sought to screen out those who were too young or lived abroad. A president must have attained the age of 35 years and been 14 years a resident within the United States. Very interesting, isn't it? The notion that not even considering the fact that a criminal might want to run for president. And so here we are on this historic day, the 30th of May 2024, the day that finally the law caught up with Donald Trump. As we know, he is somebody who has spent his life on the run, who is a natural liar, a natural-born liar. He doesn't really know how to speak the truth about anything. And as a president, he was exposed as the dictator that he claims that he'll be again for a day. As we know from our previous experience living in the country with Trump as president, that his dictatorship is something that will run rampant. And if you are of a minority group, or if you are an immigrant or an asylum seeker, or if you are female, then you should be very afraid, because you are restricted under Donald Trump's presidency. And that is the thing that I think is concerning most voters going into November 2024. That with Project 2025, this manifesto to reshape the federal government in Donald Trump's image, that image is now one of a convicted felon, and one that will surely change the outcome of the November election. For those who were considering Donald Trump before, I think many people now will recognize that the only way to save American democracy is with a vote for Democrats. I'm Anthony Davis. You can catch me on the 5 Minute News YouTube channel, on Wednesdays co-hosting Uncovered, and on Sunday on The Weekend Show with MeidasTouch.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.